Hey everyone, it's Michelle. I'm finally getting around to filming for you my nighttime skincare routine pregnancy edition. I didn't mean for it to take so long to publish this video after my morning skincare routine. Frankly, I've just been so tired by the time I get to my nighttime skincare routine that I'm not coherent at all. So I made sure to film the demo of me using my skincare products right when the sun set, which these days is around 4:30 p.m. I know it's rather depressing, but c'est la vie. So I was still coherent around that time and I was able to talk through each step of my nighttime skincare routine. And as you can see, I am filming the intro and outro of this video during the day when I am the most awake. Just like my morning routine, my nighttime skincare routine is more or less the same, but of course I need to be way more cognizant of the ingredients and every product that I'm using. And if you're new to my channel, I've been using a prescription strength retinoid for a cumulative amount of 10 years, maybe 11 years. My latest prescription is 0.1% tretinoin in the form of retin-A micro. So basically the strongest prescription you could probably get on the market at 0.1%. I gave that up for my pregnancy, of course, as advised by almost every doctor, and I'm probably not going to be touching it postpartum as well while I am breastfeeding. With that being said, fortunately, I actually haven't noticed so many changes to my skin since stopping tretinoin where I feel like, oh gosh, I wish I didn't stop using it and I could still use it. I would say the clarity of my skin, which was my main concern and the reason why I use tretinoin, has been really good. I did get a breakout on my chin recently because, you know, God forbid that I eat processed bread, but white bread in general just makes me break out really fast. So gotta stick to that sourdough, and even then gotta limit that as well. But anyways, my skin is pretty well under control in terms of acne when I stick with my lifestyle habits. I did do a separate video on the 6 main habits to clear my skin holistically. If you are interested in that, I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below. I think you'll find it very helpful, especially when it comes to trying to achieve clear skin, because in my experience of using a retinoid for over a decade, it can only do so much. It's very helpful, but it can only do so much. There's changes you definitely need to make in your life to really maintain that clarity and just limit the need to use these types of actives. With that being said, for the most part, I find my skin still nice and clear. And when it comes to my goals of well aging, preventative aging, because I am in my early 30s, I find with my routine in general, I really try to stick to making sure that my skin's moisture balance is intact. I keep my skin nice and bright and even. And I also make sure to include gentle actives that help to strengthen my skin barrier. And that's the main way that I have been just maintaining my goals of well aging in my skincare routine. If you are interested in a skincare routine of me using a prescription strength retinoid, I do have a whole playlist of my skincare routines, which I will leave a link to in the description box down below. I have used 0.1% tretinoin, that is my latest prescription. 0.4% tretinoin, I've used 0.3% adapalene, so different, and 0.1% adapalene. So if you're curious as to what my routine was with any of those retinoids when it came to dealing with acne, I'll leave a link to those in the description box down below. But for this routine in general, even though I'm not using any popular actives, I'm not using a retinoid, I'm not using chemical exfoliants that frequently, I do hope it helps you out in some way, especially when you're trying to approach your skincare routine in the gentlest but most effective way possible. I find with the past few months of doing the skincare routine, it's been working really well for me. I am wearing a little bit of a cushion foundation on my skin right now, but like a really thin amount. For the most part, my skin's been really nice and clear. I find this routine has left my skin very luminous, very moisturized, and just comfortable. Right now I'm in my 3rd trimester and I'm starting to see the effects of pregnancy in my skin in terms of the swelling. I do wake up with fairly swollen eyelids, and I feel like because my blood volume has increased so much, I do feel like my skin looks a little bit more plump in general, but other than that, I don't find the swelling is so bad that I'm, you know, losing the shape of my jaw or anything. But I do notice like my skin just looks a little bit more full in this area and around my eyes. But other than that, I do find that the clarity, the even tone of my skin is due to this current skincare routine, both nighttime and morning. I'll leave a link to the morning one in the description box down below as well. But with that being said, let's get right into the routine. It is currently 5:22 p.m. The sun set around half an hour ago. Oh, the winter times that we live in. But anyways, I gotta get this video done now because if I wait any longer, I will be way too sleepy to film, which is exactly why this video has been delayed. So let's get right into it, starting with eye makeup removal. I'm wearing that Clio Kill Cover Lash, I believe it's the Sleek Volume Mascara. That stuff holds on really well, and as a result, it's very difficult to remove. I'm trying to use up the Pond's cold cream I have, and I have to say it does a decent job, but I wouldn't say it's 100%. I definitely need to get a dedicated eye makeup remover. I wanted to buy the Hair and Make mascara remover, but on YESSTYLE it says it'll ship within 21 days, and I did not want to delay the order I placed, so that will be on hold for another time. In the meantime, I'll just use up what I have. So as you saw, I just applied a dollop and I'm now massaging it around my eye area. And this will take some time. It's not super fast or anything. You definitely have to work it into the lashes gently so you don't lose any lashes. And I found with this method of eye makeup removal that my lashes stay intact and I haven't had any shedding because I am quite gentle. So I'm just gently rubbing the cold cream between my lashes, really trying to loosen that mascara. All right, so now I'm really feeling that the mascara has been sufficiently removed. So now it's time to go in with one of my cotton rounds. This is from the Body Shop. It's 100% cotton. I really like it. So I'm going to run this under warm water and then gently massage it around my eye area. I'm back from the sink, so I'm just holding this cotton round on my eye area, just trying to melt a bit of the product around there and just gently wipe it away. So it's doing its job, removing that stubborn mascara. From what I can tell in the monitor, it looks like majority, if not all, the mascara has been removed. Now I'm going to go in the first step of my double cleanse routine at night. I'll be using the Bioderma Sensibio HTO Micellar water. Love this stuff. I do think at this point it is a holy grail considering how often I've repurchased it, and I repurchase the jumbo size whenever I can. I take a cotton round and then I just generously apply the micellar water, and then now I'm going to wipe my face with it. For the micellar water, unfortunately, it doesn't work that well with reusable cotton rounds, at least the ones I have on hand. So this is the only time I have disposable cotton rounds. And by generously applying the micellar water, it helps to create less friction when I move the cotton round around my face. And we want to lower that friction because we don't want to irritate our skin in any way, especially in the colder months where my skin is more prone to dehydration. Just want to mitigate any excess irritation as much as possible. I did apply some cushion foundation on today, just a very light amount, and some highlighter. So as you can see, it's here on the cotton round. And even if I wasn't wearing some type of complexion makeup, I would still go in with the micellar water and do a double cleanse because the two main sunscreens that I'm using in the daytime, which I featured in my pregnancy skincare video, and one of them I demoed in my morning skincare routine, they are water resistant. So I do like going in with something like a micellar water to assure that I have removed that water resistant layer. I'm going to splash some water on my face and then I will demo the cleanser I will be using tonight. This cleanser is the Slurp Laboratories Gel Double Cleanser. The idea of this is that it acts as a double cleanse, but you only use it once. I use this as recommended as kind of like a double cleanse. So you apply this on dry skin like you would an oil cleanser or a balm cleanser, massage it in, and then you emulsify with water and just massage the cleanser off as you go. I've done it. It does work. Is it anything revolutionary to me? I will say not really, because I feel like that technique I've done with other cleansers before when I was really lazy to do a double cleanse routine, and it performed just the same. But this cleanser is really nice. I do like that it's a gel cleanser and there's very little foam, as you can see. I wet my hands a little bit more just to see if it would lather up a bit more. But it's very low foaming, which I definitely like in a cleanser, or like a nice dense foam. Honestly, as long as the cleanser doesn't feel like it's stripping my skin at the end, I'm completely fine. So with this cleansing step in particular, I try to keep it under 30 seconds, definitely under a minute. I don't want to over cleanse because then my skin will definitely feel dry after cleansing, and then I need to just fix what I could have prevented. Rinsed the cleanser off. Now I'm just going to pat my face of excess water. I still want to leave it slightly damp. I don't like to completely dry out my face. The second step after my double cleanse routine is to hydrate, and that's when I go in with some type of hydrating toner. So the one I featured in my morning skincare routine was just the Round Lab 1025 Ducto toner. But lately, what I've been really liking is combining the Anawa Heartleaf 77% soothing toner with the Ducto toner. I feel like if these two just can have a baby of some sort, then it would be like one of the most perfect toners for me. I like the Ducto one for really deep hydration, and I like to layer this a couple of times. And then what I really like about the Anawa one is I have noticed that it has a really nice soothing ability. I know it's advertised on the bottle, but sometimes things don't work as expected, and I didn't know what to expect from this toner. I don't find it the most hydrating toner, but it most definitely is soothing. And there was a spot here that I had earlier. It was a bit more red and angry. And I have noticed in the past when I do get spots like this, and I use the Anawa toner instead of the azelaic acid serum I have, this does a really nice job at diffusing the redness and inflammation. Not as great of an extent as an azelaic acid serum or an anti-acne active in general, but it's a really nice supportive product to have, especially if you have acne prone skin. Again, just to reiterate, I like to do a few layers of this in general on its own, but when I feel like I need something to additionally soothe my skin, I will also layer some of the Anawa toner on top. Tonight, however, I will not use these two toners. The toner I'm going to go in with tonight instead is the one from The Ordinary. It's the Saccharomyces Ferment 30% Milky toner. It did drop below 0 degrees today, and I can definitely feel it in my skin, especially from talking through this video, that I do want a bit more extra moisture on my skin. So I will be going in with this one, and hopefully me demoing it, it'll give you an idea of what this toner looks like. It's a really nice lightweight milky toner. The only one I can compare to is the Laneige Cream Skin Refiner, the original one. Now I'm just going to massage this all over my face and neck and maybe do a few layers of that as well. The Laneige Cream Skin Refiner, the original one, it definitely felt like I applied a type of moisturizer on my skin, and I felt like it was very, very emollient, whereas with this Ordinary one, there is a softness to my skin after I apply it. Like, there is emollients there because there is squalane oil in this toner, but it's not super heavy. It doesn't congest my skin because I was able to use this toner in the thick of summer when it was like super hot and humid, and I didn't experience any congestion whatsoever. For me personally, it's just a textural thing. In the summer months, I would prefer something lighter, whereas this time of year, something milky and with more emollients, that's where I gravitate towards a product like this. But like I was saying, after this one layer, it's just a really nice light moisturizing film. Does not congest my skin at all, and I find that I can layer this a few times as well, and I have no issues. I really like how when I was using this as like the sole extra product in my skincare routine at the time, that it really helped with the flakiness I was experiencing on my face from cutting out a lot of skincare when my skin was going through a bit of trouble during the first trimester. I noticed it brightened my skin and added that touch of moisture. I think this toner can be for all skin types, provided you like a more lightweight milky finish. But if you are an oilier skin type like me, prone to dehydration, and you want to try a Milky toner, I think you'd really like this one. Plus, it is affordable, so it's a nice one to try to get into the Milky toners in general. I will say though, when it comes to wanting deeper hydration, there is something about the Round Lab Doctor toner that really does that when I feel like I need that deep hydration, like quenching my skin thirst type of fix. I find myself gravitating towards this toner more than anything else that I currently have on rotation, hence why I bought the jumbo size of this in the 500 ml bottle. That's it for the hydration step. Now moving on to the treatment step, and the serum I'm going to start with is the one where I consider it like a gentle, well-aging active in my skincare routine, especially now during pregnancy where I can't use my prescription strength tretinoin. I decided to go back to using fermented serums because in my on and off experience of using different kinds of fermented serums in my skincare routine, I've always noticed that they've done a great job at strengthening my skin barrier. Like I could visibly see that my skin looks better, it feels stronger, and when I was more prone to breakouts in the past before I kind of cleaned up my lifestyle prior to pregnancy, I noticed it also helped mitigate the length of time of breakouts that I would have on my face. It would be less inflamed and they wouldn't last as long. It's like my skin was able to deal with the inflammation better. For this time around, the fermented serum I decided to go with is the Numbuzin No. 3 Skin Softening Serum. What drew me to this serum is that it has a good amount of the bifida ferment and galactomyces. Galactomyces, when I first tried it in an essence form, I noticed it did an amazing job at hydrating, brightening, and softening my skin. And with the bifida ferment, that's when I really noticed that my skin's strength really improved. So I'm happy to have both of those ferments that I love in one. And funny enough, this toner also has a ferment in it that's great with gentle exfoliation. To go back to the toner real quickly, even though it does have an exfoliating property to it, I found it very gentle. As I mentioned in a prior video, I used this day and night in my skincare routine for a month and a half, and experienced zero issues. So I do find this to be very gentle. Back to the Ferment serum, I use about a nickel size, so something like that. Not a full dropper, I don't find I need that much. And just go to town all over my face and neck. I noticed right away when I incorporated this into my skincare routine how luminous my skin looked. Very nice and plump because it hydrates my skin as well. It just gave back a glow to my skin that I felt like was lacking for a while. I mean, I was using the vitamin C serum from Geek and Gorgeous at the time, but not as frequent. Whereas with this serum, I'm using it on a daily basis. So it's definitely more noticeable that it's giving me more of a glow. But I have to say, on the days when I use my vitamin C serum, it's like my skin is extra bright and glowy. In general, I find for my well-aging goals in my skincare routine, having a bright, even complexion is key, because that way, whatever fine lines, spots that come up on my face, it's a little bit more forgiving because I have an even complexion. Speaking of even complexion, moving on to the second treatment of the night. It is the Costa Baja Azelaic Acid 10% serum. I am able to use this twice a day without issue. I was debating using it tonight, but I do want to get rid of this, so I will just go ahead and apply a couple of drops on my face. What I like about this serum is that a little goes a long way. So just 2 drops, you don't need any more than that. And I massage this all over my face, mostly focusing on where the breakouts are. And that tends to be always around my chin. But now, for some reason, it's under my eye on my cheek. As I mentioned before, the 10% azelaic acid serum does a great job at lowering inflammation on any active breakouts on my face. It makes my pores look really good, although I do find my routine in general helps with that. The azelaic acid definitely takes it to the next level. That is it for the treatment step. Now moving on to the final step of my nighttime skincare routine. It is none other than the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm B5 Plus. I am almost done with this tube. I believe this is my 4th tube since I started using this back at the end of 2022. And I already went ahead and repurchased a 5th tube. I just love how this makes my skin look in the morning. Really fresh, really well moisturized and smooth. I find when I have some dehydration lines showing from the end of the day, I apply an extra amount of this on those areas and they just plump out. I might have to cut open the tube soon to scoop out the rest, but this should be enough for tonight. I did a full review on this balm. I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below if you're interested. But like I said, I really love how rejuvenated my skin looks in the morning. And this also does help with acne. It definitely helps to lower inflammation, calm my skin down, and it provides the right amount of moisture for my skin. I don't find it congests my skin at all. In the summer months, I did stop using it for a bit because my skin was going through a very sensitive state in the first trimester, but I was able to reintroduce it back into my nighttime skincare routine again, but a very, very small amount, like a super thin layer. Whereas in the colder months, I can definitely be a bit more liberal with my application. I managed to get some extra out, so what I would do is just apply it to the areas where I felt like needed a bit more plumping up. So it's the areas where signs of dehydration show up for me first. So under my eyes, the nasolabial folds. This I believe is called the bunny line because I have a line that goes across and it likes to come and go sometimes. And my forehead. So I just apply extra amounts to those areas as need be. And these days in the colder months, like I said, it's needed. That is it for my nighttime skincare routine. This is what my skin looks like. I'm not a super glazed donut right now. I haven't had the need to apply any petrolatum, CeraVe healing ointment, stuff like that to my face. Definitely saving that for deeper in the winter months, but so far with what I'm using, this works really well at just maintaining my skin's moisture, keeping it well hydrated and clear. That is it for my nighttime skincare routine, pregnancy edition. As always, I hope you find content like this helpful and informative, especially if you're trying to curate a skincare routine for yourself in the gentlest way possible when it comes to keeping skin clear and just focusing on well aging in general. That's it for this video. See you all soon. Ciao.